Hi, everybody. My name is Carolyn Ellis. I'm an abstract artist, and I live right here in Duncanville. Today, I'm going to share my love of art and open up the idea that everyone can do art. So, using materials that you're sure to have in your home, an empty soda can, a paper plate, a paper cup, a piece of aluminum foil, a scrap of paper or cardboard. We're going to talk about taking those materials and turning them into art, truly. Now, I'm standing in front here of one of my paintings. Now, it's true, I like to paint big. Okay, this is 6 feet by 12 feet. Okay, now 6 feet by 6 feet. I mean, that size I enjoy, but the bigger the better. So this is one of my largest, 6 by 12. Now, that's not the only size that I do, however. I also do smaller work, and our house is covered in smaller work. We're in our living room, which is my studio. So just everywhere you look, there's more artwork. Okay, but what we're going to talk about today are what I call small projects. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to start looking at individual projects. Now keep this in mind that I'm not showing you a model for what you need to do. No, not at all. I'm showing you simply an idea. I'm going to suggest the material to use, and then the encouragement is go on your own adventure. Give yourself permission to go into the unknown, to be utterly ridiculous even, to just launch out and see where you go. So here we go, presto changeo. All right, now we're looking at my small project shelf. And we're gonna start out with this one. This is a McDonald's coffee cup. Now, as you can see, I've covered the whole thing. I used markers. And I use markers for almost everything that I do. The markers that I have, I got from Amazon. And you can get oil markers, paint markers, acrylic markers. Walmart will have a selection in that area. And so that's what I used here. Now, sometimes I cut holes in this. Sometimes I do cut strips out of it and put a hole in the bottom. I mean, I'll do anything. This is an investigation of how far I can go with a paper cup. And I don't know how far I can go really, because guess what? There are an infinite number of possibilities. You can glue things on this. If you want to, of course, you can go realistic. Flowers, trees, you could write a poem on here. You could glue a picture, you can glue yarn, you can do anything you want, and that's the excitement of this. So that's the paper cup project. I probably have at least 30 of these. I've been doing them for, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. All right, now up here, those are ping pong balls. I don't play ping pong, but I saw these at Walmart. I bought a small box, a couple bucks, and I used my markers on them. Then I came upon this wonderful piece of wood scrap somewhere, and I hot glued them on there. And just looking at this makes me happy. It's a joy and a delight. And again, guess how many possibilities there are? An infinite number. And you know what? If you find yourself working with material, I mean, maybe somebody loves ping pong balls, or maybe somebody loves the paper cup idea. You don't have to move off of that material. You can stick with one material for a year, 2 years, as long as you want, and just keep exploring. Think of all the possible things that can be done with the two materials we talked about so far, the ping pong balls or the coffee cups. Look at this. This is a jelly jar. Okay, and just looking at this makes me happy, which is why I didn't throw it away. I finished the jelly, but I'm not throwing this away. It's too much fun. These projects, as well as all my artwork, they give me joy, they brighten my spirit. I like to say that in our house, it's never cloudy because I'm surrounded by so much color. This is my husband's vitamin bottle, and I turned my markers loose on it, and I created this graphic design. Okay, this is about a year old, so it shows some wear. So when he buys new vitamins, he just pours them in that jar. Alrighty, now I mentioned soda cans. This is a soda can that I've done up, and it looks like it could go on a Christmas tree, doesn't it? Imagine that, having soda cans decorated for a Christmas tree. This is the small 7-ounce size, but of course you can use any size, any shape you want. And I like to do these small projects when I'm watching something in the evening. So my hands are busy, and sometimes what I'm watching, it's just the background. I'm so engaged in what I'm doing. There's another soda can right there. Now this is a cardboard box, and it was black to begin with. When I see something all black or all white, it's just calling my name. I have to do something on it. So I took white acrylic paint and I painted all around like that. And then I added a few circles. 1, 2, 3. Over here's the third one. Okay, and again, another wonderful piece of artwork, which I just so enjoy. Now here, these are blocks. I went to Home Depot, and they don't sell blocks, but they sell a stick of wood that's 2 inches by 2 inches. And then I think this was probably 6 feet long. So I cut it into small little blocks. Each block has 6 sides, the 4, and then a top and a bottom. And they're all different. In fact, sometimes I have a lot of these. And so sometimes I put them together like 3 and then another 3 and another 3. And then I rotate the blocks, and each time I get some completely new wonder. Aha, here we have a bowl. All right, Walmart again, a simple plastic white bowl. Now this isn't dishwasher safe. I don't use it. I have it on the mantle here with my other favorite small projects. And I must say that I'm in love with it. Of course, the truth is, yep, even under there, the truth is I'm in love with everything that I do. That's just part of it. Uh-oh, sorry, shelf fell. It's okay. All right, this is another small box. Now, what I do with these boxes is take my brush, which still has paint on it when I'm working on a canvas. And so instead of taking the brush and putting it in water to be rinsed out later, I use the last bit of paint on a small project like this. So that's what I did on that black box, and that's what I did here. Now this one, I've only done the front. But I don't look at this as, looking like a river or a stream. I simply look at it as a wondrous piece of abstract art. Though I could certainly write a poem about a stream, because you know what? It could look like that, right? So that's the whole thing about abstract art. It has as much meaning as you care to give it. And if you don't give it the meaning, any meaning, that's quite all right too. It can simply be enjoyed for being bright and colorful. Okay, next, the lowly toilet paper roll. Now, I actually buy these from Amazon. This is a 6-inch cardboard tube. I got the idea for this from a toilet paper roll, and after I did 1 or 2, I thought, gee, I wonder if they have these online, and so that's how I found these. So I have a whole bag of them, and I can do something with these anytime I want. And sometimes I do very simple things like this. This is not a complicated piece at all. I made the cut and added some color, but I still rejoice and am excited about it. Okay, all right, now that the shelf fell over, we can actually examine a block more closely. Okay, that's the top, that's the bottom, and then there are the four sides. And like I said, you can put them next to each other, and I find that a lot of fun as well. Rocks. Now, a lot of people paint rocks. In fact, a lot of children paint rocks. They'll make it into a turtle or a flower. Now, I'm not into that sort of thing, though you certainly can do that. This rock, I love its shape. And that's what attracted me to it in the first place. But I chose to leave it all blank except for this. And who knows why it gives me so much joy, but it does. All right, this is a tumbler, a small little glass from Walmart again. And like I mentioned before, if something's all black or all white, it's like calling my name. I have to do something on it. So all I did was take acrylic paint and make some marks on it, and that's all it took to make me happy. I don't want to add anything else on there. That's it. Now, this thing that's next looks like one of my blocks, but it's a tea container. It had some exotic tea in here, but it was well made, and so I got my markers working, and that's what I did. Alrighty. All right, now, something I skipped is this piece in the back. All right, now what that is paper. Okay, it's a piece of paper which I folded and cut. And to me, that's all full of celebration and happiness and joy. In fact, I'm planning to use that for my Christmas card. I'm going to make a bunch of those and send them to people. Now, that little strip on the right, I had never done that before. I have folded paper for years, but that's a little narrow strip which I curled up and stuck it there, and to me it just adds to the celebration. So we're going to back off a little bit so you get a view. This is one of my big paintings because that's what I like to do best. Okay, and though the shelf looks a mess right now, normally it looks a little bit better, and that's where I put my favorite projects. Now, because I like paper folding so much, we're actually going to go over here and look at some more paper folds. Now, on the way there, we'll take a glance at the walls here. Like I said, the house here is covered in artwork. Oh my. Now see those black pieces? That's actually black contact paper. It's removable contact paper, so it peels right off. But I thought it would look interesting to do that. And so we're going to keep moving over here, more artwork. And we're going to come to my paper folding shelf. Okay, now, the paper that I use for myself is quite heavy-duty stuff and quite expensive. It's 300-pound, that's what they call it, meaning that it's very heavy. 300-pound cold press Arches watercolor paper. It has a texture to it. Let's see if that can show up. Not really. Okay, which I enjoy. And now you may have heard of origami. Origami is a Japanese paper folding. I don't do origami. Traditional origami is about flowers and birds and maybe a small canoe. I'm not interested in that. Everything I do is abstract. And so I started out with a rectangle of this paper, made a few folds, did some cutting out, and I ended up with this powerful, wonderful piece. Now, this is a recent piece. Again, it started out as a rectangle. There's only one fold right here, right there. And how did I get that shape? Who knows? It started out as a rectangle, and I started playing around, and I came up with that shape. Then I did the fold, and then I decided I'm going to add the black and some lines. And it strikes me deeply. If I ever figure out why, I'll put it into words, because the truth is, I don't know why. All right, here's another one down here. Okay, now this again is, I'm going to move this. This again is quite recent. And I cut open like a gate. And let's see how many folds. There's a bend there. There's a bend here, 2, 3, and 4. 4, okay, there are 5. So for me, that's a bunch of folds. I often only do 1 or 2. I'm trying to get it to stand up. Okay, well, I'll hold on to it. It certainly looks like it's a gate going to somewhere. Who knows where? I like to send these as cards to people, sick or birthday, but I don't write on them at all. I write a little note because I think so highly of them that I don't look at this as a card. I look at this as artwork. In fact, in my mind, I like to consider that instead of being 8 inches tall, this thing is 8 feet tall. Now that's just in my head because clearly it's not. But I see them as monuments. And maybe one day that'll happen. Who knows? Okay, let's take a look at a couple more. Okay, this is just scraps. I had a bunch of paper left over, and I just twirled it together in a roll, and there you go. Back here, this is some plastic scrap. I must have gotten it out of the trash. And then I put a piece of, let's move that. I put a piece of paper through it. And of course you can go any way that you want on this. And it's some sort of odd structure, which I enjoy. Now, if you find this is ridiculous, there's no way I want to do this, totally fine. I'm just sharing what I do. This is simply a curled piece of paper, which I'm delighted with. Here's another one right here. So I think we've looked at quite a bit. Now let's go back and capture something else that I've done, if I can get over there without showing too much of my messy studio. Okay, this is my work table. This milk bone thing for dogs is actually full of paint. Okay, all right, so we're going to put this up here. This is a vase that I got from Walmart. And I used contact paper. This is black contact paper, which I cut out to create this design. I actually do a lot of work with contact paper. My laptop, I cut a piece of contact paper to go across the outside of it, and I created a whole design on that. All right, now here, this is a puzzle from Walmart. It had something else on there, and using my markers, I created this. Now, every one of these is different. So when you turn one, you get something completely different, which I thoroughly enjoy. Okay, and then you can also, if you don't want to put them back in place, you can also do something like this, which I also find fascinating. Now, again, this is sure to go to one of our grandchildren. This took a lot of work, okay, using the markers. There are 16 of them, and each of them has 6 sides. So I didn't do this in one day or two. This took a lot of time. And there are not a dozen or 2 possibilities here. There are millions. Okay, when you have 16 pieces with 6 sides, and there's no established way, that's not like, well, now you've made the puzzle in its fixed position. No, there is no fixed final solution. There's whatever you want. And so millions and millions of possibilities. Alrighty, I think I've shared enough. I hope you've enjoyed. You might, if you want to start today, go right over to your trash can and pull out 2 or 3 things. Who knows what you'll find, and fold or smash or glue or color or punch holes or rip or whatever you like. I like to think of this as my way of climbing Mount Everest, or even my way of sailing across the ocean. I'm not a traveler, but in my artwork, I'm traveling all the time. So can you.